Okay then, so we're going to have a go at some simple harmony bits of composition, and might set you up 3 or 4 different little starting tasks just to write a short piece of harmony. And then what we might do after the half-term holiday is pick one of them and continue with it with a little bit more in depth, so you can choose which of these starting activities you like. So here's the first one. This is a really simple one just to get us all going, and we haven't composed for a bit. So what we're going to do is write a 16-bar chord sequence in G major, and each box here is a bar reading across bar 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth, starting on G. And all the little dashes here mean is that it just indicate that you're going to repeat the chord on each beat of the bar. Final bar here in bar 16, you just hold the last chord. So there's some rules that you can pause and read through. These rules are all in the class notebook as well under composition. I think it's called Harmony Starter number 1. Just some simple little things. And you've got your triads in G major. There's your blank grid. I'm going to come back to those hints in a minute. So this is the chords that I mentioned in the previous slide, and here they are: G, A minor, B minor, C, D, E minor, F diminished, and they're simply the triads in G major. So you write the scale out. Remember, we've done this quite a few times now. You write the scale out. As in G major, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 1 to finish with. And then all you do is build your triad on top. What I've then done is put the bass note of the root note of the triad in the bass, so G there, G in the bass. That's what they look like, just in case you're wondering what those written notes are. So I've done a little example of that previous grid. So you can see here, starting in bar 1, and that runs all the way through to bar 16. And here it is. Just have a little listen to this. It's very simple. There you go, nothing fancy at all, a really straightforward chord sequence. Now, what I just thought to do is, on the very first slide, it had the instructions, it had some hints, and so what I thought I'd do is I'd have these hints up and I'll show you how I've done, I've tried to use these hints. So for instance, line 2 works well as a repeat or approximate repeat of line 1, so I've done that there. So I've made bar 1 is slightly different from bar 5, so in G major I've used a relative minor chord, E minor in bar 5, but then I've gone the same across bars 2 and 6, 3 and 7, 4 and 8. Bar 15, the penultimate bar, would fulfill style expectations if contained either a D or a C major chord, and I've finished by going D to G, so I've effectively written what's known as a perfect cadence there, chord 5 to chord 1, and that has that sort of rounding off feel to the chord progression. And then, if students feel tempted to introduce 2 chords per bar, the most effective places are towards the end of 4-bar phrases. And so I've done it here in the penultimate bar before finishing on the last chord, and then I've done it to wrap up my 3rd line. So I followed those little hints there and tried to incorporate those hints into my little piece. This is what my piece looks like. I just plonked it out in Sibelius, and you can see it's really straightforwardly written. There's nothing fancy at all. I've deliberately not tried to make it sound fancier. I've kept it very straightforward, just like that. I did think carefully about which chord would sound good after which. I'm not saying that this was the only version I did. I might have written it and then thought, oh, you know what, I'm not so sure about the chord in this bar here, and then I might have edited it and changed it, but I've literally just kept it to crotchets on the beat, really straightforward. It's dead simple. Yours ought to be like that. So now it's your go. You can try typing the pattern into your class notebook. That's as I was saying in our on Teams, you click on the class notebook tab and then find your name, and then when you click this composition tab, and it will be Harmony Starter number 1, I think it's called, and you'll scroll down and all you'll see again, these instructions are written out for you there. You can listen to the piece again there, and you can also read everything through more carefully. What you could then do is, once you've worked out your little pattern here, click it into Sibelius. Then you can press play in Sibelius, listen back, you think, oh, I don't like that chord progression from bar, I don't know, 9 to 10. Find bar 9, find bar 10, alter it, and then if you make changes in Sibelius, come back and alter it in here as well. And then save your final Sibelius version. So you've got that file somewhere saved in your computer. You'll need it again, as we'll extend this task later on in the half term. I don't know whether it'll be in the next video, actually, it might be later on. So that's basically the job here. I'm sure that you'll write something quite quickly and quite simply. As I say, we're going to do 3 or 4 different starting harmony tasks, and then we might pick one of them to carry on with. That's where I'm saying save this file, because you might need to come back to it. Thank you.